Have you ever felt stuck because you think, this is just who I am? What if that's just a story and not your true self? Actors are playing roles all the time. They are identity shifting. If you think you're playing no role, think again. We are always playing a role, even if it's of someone who thinks they are playing none or someone who thinks they are stuck with their part. But here's the secret. You can rewrite who you think you are at any moment. Your quirks, your traits, your mannerisms of speaking, they can all be changed in an instant if you wish to change it. So in the next 10 minutes, you'll learn how to reinvent yourself completely whenever you want. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Shruti, and at Enter Samatvam, I talk about how to live your best life by proactively using a powerful tool we all have, self-awareness. Your identity is your self-image. It's the collection of all the beliefs, traits, preferences, or labels that you've collected and added to your definition of I, who you think you are. Things like, I'm a good singer, but I've got 2 left feet, or I love coffee and desserts, I love doing yoga, but not cardio, or I love playing tennis or pickleball, I'm introverted or extroverted, I was born to open-minded or conservative parents, I was born as an only child, or I feel shy, etc., etc. Now here's the catch. Every pillar that we identify with in life, our job, relationships, home, health, skills, expectations, our desires, possessions, any object in the world, they can all be taken away. Do you agree? And even if you don't, share your thoughts in the comments below. The truth is, self-improvement as a term is a complete misnomer because your true self is identityless. It's free of all the false images that you have subconsciously added to it. So it's your self-image that is the one that actually needs to change. Everything that we believe about ourselves and what we feel we stand for shapes our worldview. And most of this is subconsciously formed through our interaction with the world, society, culture, our family, and past experiences. So if I believe that I'm a procrastinator, I will act in a way that it mirrors this belief. Or if I believe that I'm a great singer, then I'll act according to that belief. So each of these actions will generate more habits and more traits that then I will subconsciously add to my overall self-image. So our identity does not just shape our behavior. It dictates our entire life and limits how we experience it. It has the power to decide if we are able to materialize our dreams in this life. There is an old African proverb that says, a cat who dreams of becoming a lion must let go of its appetite for rats. So to live a great life, you must let go of all the old habits that are holding back your progress. You must be before you can have. You must behave or act in a way that aligns with the outcome that you want to experience. This is the law of the universe. So ask yourself, how would you behave if you are the main character of this movie called life? I'm sure you would dream big and you would act on your dreams without letting your inner critic limit you. And you would go from being a side actor to being the main character, right? So what does being the main lead mean? It means being accountable and responsible for all the choices you make, all the actions that you have to take, and your next steps, without letting the current experience you're having bring you down, whatever it might be. And it's certainly not wasting time constantly comparing or complaining. Alright, so story time. Few years back, I used to live in New York City and I thought of myself as a city girl through and through. And I wasn't outdoorsy at all. So whenever someone would ask me hiking, I would be like, no thanks, that's not me. But then in the spring of 2018, I met a guy and serendipitously crossed paths with him in Washington, D.C. And he had a dream. He was into nature and he wanted to trek to the Annapurna base camp in Nepal. And since we were spending a lot of time together dating, he wanted me to join him on a grand adventure 10 days of serious hiking in the Himalayas. And for someone who had had no experience hiking at all, without thinking much, I decided to uncharacteristically say yes. What all love makes us do, right? That was a first for me. Not giving in to the reservations of my mind and taking a leap of faith in the face of the unknown. For a city girl, I went from 0 to 100 with respect to hiking, but that turned out to be an adventure of a lifetime for me. And that guy, he eventually became my husband. And how that happened is a story for another day. But it dramatically changed my life and revealed to me the power of stepping out of an identity that had felt so comfortable to me for years. Now you might think that this might have been easy for me because I had a compelling external catalyst. But honestly, it wasn't. See, prior to this adventure, a few months back, I had already been rooting for self-transformation. I saw myself as a shy, introverted girl who wanted everything that life had to offer. The love of her life, adventure, a passionately fulfilling career, everything that I had seen in romance, dramas or movies that I so loved in my 20s. And I felt like I had none of those and time was slipping by. So I confronted that feeling the only way I could. I took a chance on one of my long-term dreams, traveling to new and unknown places, and I decided to book a 3-week trip to Nicaragua solo, all by my own, something I had never done before. And so that was the first taste of real discomfort that I'd experienced in a long time, and one that I'd consciously chosen to put myself in. And when I dared to be who I wanted to be, that planted the seeds of change. It reminds me of the Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man, if you have watched it, or The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which has Ben Stiller in it, which is one of my favorite movies. If you have watched any of those, type it down in the comments below. And for some of you, if you haven't watched the movies, this might be a spoiler. Both of these movies have characters that are living dull, repetitive lives until they start taking notice of all the opportunities that they have and start saying yes to them despite being afraid. And suddenly they are living a new life, adventures, making new connections, and they're becoming people they never thought they could be. So just like these characters, our biggest growth comes when we stop clinging to the labels that our mind produces and start saying yes to life's invitations and start trusting life. So the second point is to self-reflect. Pay attention to the thoughts that you most indulge in. What stories are holding you back from making the biggest decisions of your life? When you observe them, two things happen. One, you start noticing all the lies your mind tells you, all the BS narratives that it generates. And two, you start getting bored of the negative thoughts, and hence you get less triggered and less reactive to those thoughts. So you become more intentional. Over time, this makes you spacious inside, that is less thoughts, less noise. So that leads you back to your original condition of being identityless, free of any labels or any ideas that your mind generates. Just like you were as a baby, but now you have the option to intentionally choose who you want to be. Don't be averse to your current identity. Getting over your current self-image doesn't mean indulging in self-hate. Have compassion for yourself. When I accept the current version of me, I'm able to let go and start afresh, like a blank slate. And that's because I'm able to notice my actions without judgment, but still discern the lies I tell myself. And that is very important, because when we notice our patterns without labeling them as good or bad, that's when they start resolving automatically. And it also opens our mind to new ideas and solutions that reduces our reliance on these old habits or beliefs. And I think it was Bruce Lee who said in his book Artist of Life that if I want to control myself, I must first accept myself by going with and not against my nature. spell it out and visualize. Become very clear on what you want from life. Prioritize your most important desires. So have a picture of the identity that you want to be or you wish to be. In fact, you can write it down. If you want, you can also type it down in the comments below. And you could type something like, I'm the kind of person who ... and you can complete that sentence in the comments down below. And writing it down will help you visualize and clearly define how your ideal self-image looks like. And the next step is to embody that definition. You align your thoughts and actions to the definition of what you just visualized. And then you perform micro actions. So make it easy for yourself to act on these desires, and you can make the most powerful shift by showing up even for just a few minutes, like 5 minutes every day. Maybe at the same time if you can. That really helps to build consistency of habit and helps to make the habit sticky, especially if you stack it with some neutral habit. Like if you want to drink more water, then you would do it immediately after you brush your teeth. So that way you're stacking it with something else that you are anyway doing daily, and this way you're actually able to embody the actions and thoughts of the person that you would like to be. The last point is be fluid like water. So whenever challenging situations come, the reason we suffer is because we are too attached to how we expect things to be, because we want the situation to flow according to our preferences. If you are in a situation that you don't prefer, try getting comfortable with it. See if you can practice not minding it. That is good training for the mind, and that helps you build more trust in life and be more patient with the situation, which will help you to deal with it in the best possible manner. And this also improves neuroplasticity of the brain by creating new neural pathways in the brain, because whenever you take up a route that you have not taken before, whenever you start not minding, not having your preferences come true, that's when real growth happens, and that's when you learn to flow with life. So remember that in life, you always have a choice to bring forth that main character energy no matter the situation you are dealing with. Because even if you don't choose intentionally, you are always unconsciously playing a role. It's a role that you don't want to play. So the question is always, what role would you rather play? Alright, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you learned something useful. If you did, then share it down in the comments below, and like this video, share it with your friends. It always helps the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you.